Hey folks, recently I read an article as well as I saw a video that Tabletop Minions did based off of his thoughts on this New York Times article, all about kind of the lack of people having hobbies nowadays. That got me thinking kind of about two things. A, it's totally okay to be mediocre at your hobby. And the second thing is, it's also okay not to share your hobby with the entire world, which is kind of ironic coming from me who's making YouTube videos about our hobbies. But we'll get to that later. So the first thing about being mediocre at your hobby. Don't be afraid to get into tabletop gaming, board games, miniature painting, stuff like that, just because you won't be the best. First of all, no one is the best when they start out, unless they're like, oh no, what's the word? When you're a prodigy. So unless you're a prodigy, you're not going to be amazing at anything when you first start out. So A, don't compare your beginning stages to somebody else's like they've been doing this for years and years and they have all of this experience under their belt. Yes, they're going to be better at it than you. I've always tried to approach things as, I know I'm going to suck at first, but I will gauge my success off of my own improvement. And yeah, and I've kind of plateaued a little bit with miniature painting. There have been a few things I've been trying to get better at, and some of it has been asking for feedback. We recently went to a miniature painting competition that our local game store had, and I was a little nervous at first to enter stuff because it was like, oh, I'm not going to do so well. I know there are other people that are going to have much better minis than I have, but that wasn't the point. I submitted stuff to see what happened as well as to get feedback because they said anybody who wanted to could stick around and the judge would provide them feedback. Most of the feedback that I got was, oh, okay, I just need to up the contrast I'm using between different colors, or I need to wait for the base coat to fully dry before I start doing my dry brushing and just be a little bit more patient. So that was really great getting that feedback. But up until that point, all of the kind of like success that I had judged myself on was how I was doing mostly compared to myself. Now, yes, of course I compared my work to other people's work. And there are some people's work that I looked at and was like, oh, hey, cool. I think my stuff is better, and a lot of people's that I looked at and went, wow, their stuff is so much better than I'm probably ever going to get. But that's also okay. I enjoy doing this in my free time. It's not something, I don't plan on being a full-time miniature painter. Because this is what I enjoy doing, it's not necessarily something I want to turn into a job. Now we do have Patreon, but and that's something that actually the New York Times article addressed a little bit, is this idea of all of the gig economy and turning what you love into your job, which is awesome. I would be very happy if gaming was my job. But I'm also okay with it not being my job. And kind of in this article is talking about how when you take something that's your hobby and turn it into your job, then what do you do with your free time? So whether it's miniature painting or even just as a GM, it's okay if you're not the best GM out there. Now that doesn't mean that you can't improve and you shouldn't want to improve, but do what you enjoy. If you don't enjoy a certain aspect of the hobby, you don't have to do that aspect of the hobby because it's your hobby, so do what you find as fun. All right, so on to the second thing that I was thinking about, which is the sharing. I have a hobby that I don't really share a whole lot of online, and that's knitting. I've actually thought about making like videos about knitting and stuff like that, but I want to keep that kind of for myself. The stuff that I do share is like the miniature painting and all of the things that we put up on this channel and talk about on our Twitter and stuff like that, is stuff that I enjoy the community aspect of that. So I think there is finding a balance between sharing stuff because you want to be a part of the community and sharing stuff because you feel like, oh, I have to share this to prove that I'm doing something with my time. One of the things I love about knitting and also about miniature painting is that I can look at something and go, aha, I have knitted 10 rows tonight. I have made progress. I have physical progress, because a lot of times in my day job, I don't really have physical progress. It's like I've checked a whole bunch of stuff off on a list, but I kind of feel like I haven't done anything. So coming home and having something that I can feel like I've done something is awesome for me. And I enjoy taking pictures and stuff like that. But I think the important thing is finding the balance and being okay with keeping some stuff to yourself, not having to share everything with everybody. And it's totally okay to have a hobby that you don't have an Instagram account for. So I think kind of the point that I wanted to get to in this video is that it's okay to be mediocre at your hobby. As long as you're having fun, that's the important thing. And B, it's okay not to share everything. It's okay to have some hobbies or a part of the hobby that's just for you, that you don't have to post stuff online. You don't have to share it with the world. You can choose who you want to share it with. So this was probably a little bit of a rambly video, but just wanted to share some of my thoughts on it. How do you feel about kind of improvement and comparison and sharing stuff online? Let me know down below. So I want to give a special thanks to all of our patrons, because this is something that I enjoy doing, and and our patrons just kind of helps make it better, help a little bit financially, so that like I can invest a little bit more into some awesome lights or the new mic that we've been using. Hey, awesome new sound, yay! Specifically, I want to thank Sean, Lainey, Arvie, Joan, and Bryce. If you're interested in becoming one of our patrons, you can head over to patreon.com/rollforinitiative. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Roll for Initiative. Bye!